Hey everyone and all my heart makers out there, it's Shauna from Shine Your Heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am very excited about this because I feel like this is the start of so many other things that we can do together and create together. So today we're going to be doing a bodice block front and back. In the description I will list all the measurements that you're going to need, and obviously as we go along you'll see all the measurements that you need for both the front and the back. So this video is for beginners. Attention to detail as you go is going to be important, because once you begin laying out your basic kind of like your lines, your starting lines, there are a lot of measurements that are based off of those lines. So if you put one in that's wrong from the very beginning, and every other line you're using to like half and add ease and all sorts of stuff to it, the whole pattern will be off. So I've done this, I made this mistake doing the back part of the pattern and had to start over twice. So I'm just telling you from experience, pay attention to the details, and it's a lot, but you can do it, I promise. So have fun with it. What I've done is I have taped together some printer paper, and I've done 6 sheets for the front and 6 sheets for the back. So we're gonna jump right in. Let's get started. These are the measurements we will be using today, so take a moment, pause the video, and write these measurements down. We will be building the front and the back bodice blocks from these measurements, and just take note that they are not full circumference, only the front measurement from side to side. And for each line we will be adding to the bodice, I will be referring to these measurements as they are labeled. Start by drawing a vertical line equal to your full front length and mark that A at the top and B at the bottom. From the A line, take your half across the chest measurement, add 3/8 inch and mark that as C. From C, come down 1.5 inches, make a mark and label it D. From D, you're going to draw an angled line equal to your shoulder length up towards A and label that E. From B, measure up using your center front length and mark that as F. Take the measurement from A to E, add 3/8 inch, and draw a line from A at a 45-degree angle and mark that as G. First, square out your E and F lines, and then using your curved ruler, draw a neckline curve from F up to E, touching point G. Measure and mark the halfway point from B to A and label that H. From H, draw a horizontal line half the length of your front bust plus 1/2 inch and label this I. Measure the halfway point from H to F and mark this as J. From J, draw a horizontal line that measures half of your across chest measurement and mark this as K. Mark the same distance on the H line below it and label that L. Draw a 1-inch line at a 45-degree angle up away from the L line and mark that as M. Using your curved ruler, draw your armhole curve from I up to D, touching points K and M. Do your best. We'll get better as we go. Measure down 2 inches from H and mark this as N. Take your H to I measurement, add 3/8 inch, and starting with N, draw a horizontal line across and label this O. Starting at I, draw your side length measurement down to O and mark this as P. From B, measure over 3 inches and mark this as Q. Join Q to P. From P, take half your front waist measurement and add 1/4 of an inch, and then subtract the distance from B to Q and mark this as R. Make a mark halfway between Q and R. And from that mark, use your angled ruler to measure 90 degrees up to the end line and make a mark labeling that S. Here in the video, I'm using the wrong measurement. I'm measuring from the R and not that middle measurement. You want to measure from the halfway between Q and R, and from that mark, make your measurement for S. You'll then connect the line from S to Q and then S to R to make your dart legs. And that is it for the front part of the bodice. And now let's go to the back. These are the measurements that you're going to need for the back bodice, the same way that we did the front. It's just from side to side from the back. Your first line is your full back length. Mark that A at the top and B at the bottom. Next, you're going to take your half across the back width, add 3/8 inch, and draw a horizontal line and mark that C. Draw a vertical line 2 inches down from C and mark that D. Take your shoulder length plus 1/2 inch and mark a diagonal line from D up to A and label this E. From B, measure up your center back length and mark that as F. And then using your curved ruler, make a neck hole connecting E to F. Find the halfway mark up from B to F, add 1 1/4 inches, and mark that as G. Take half your back bust measurement, add 1/2 inch, and draw a horizontal line from G and label that H. Mark the middle point between F and G and label that as I. From I, take half your across back measurement and mark that as J. Mark that same spot on the G to H line and label that K. From K, mark up 1 inch at a 45-degree angle and label that L. Using your curved ruler, mark the armhole from D to H, touching the J and L points. From B, take half your back waist measurement at 1 3/4 inch and label that M. Find the halfway mark between G to K, not G to H like I'm doing here, G to K, make that mark and label it N. Minus 3/4 of an inch from the G to N measurement and mark that on the B line, labeling it O. Measure 1.5 inches over from O and label that P. Add your side length measurement from point H to point M and mark that as Q. If your side length line is longer than M, use your curve ruler to gently curve it up from Q towards P. Draw your dart legs from both P and O up to N. On the shoulder line, mark the midpoint between D and E and call it R. Draw a line from R down to N. From R, mark down 3 inches on the line down to N and label it S. On either side of R, measure and mark 1/2 inch. Just above those 1/2 inch marks, make another mark 1/8 inch. Join those 1/2 inch marks down to S. And then finally join the 1/8 inch marks to both D and E points, completing your block. Congratulations, you made it through. You should end up with something that looks a little bit like this. And from this bodice block, we can begin to draft all sorts of really fun things that are tailored to our specific measurements. Leave any questions that you might have down in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video.